Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now, you call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
Avoiding your unfinished home projects because you're not sure where to start? Thumbtack knows homes, so you don't have to. Don't know the difference between matte paint finish and satin? Or what that clunking sound from your dryer is? With Thumbtack, you don't have to be a home pro. You just have to hire one. You can hire top-rated pros, see price estimates, and read reviews, all on the app. Download today.
DSW, birthplace of the humble brag. Here, the shoes are so good, no one would ever know how little you paid. If you didn't go telling everyone, that is. And with never-ending options for every style, mood, and occasion, all at really great prices, we'll definitely give you something to brag about. So go ahead, stock up on fresh sneakers from your favorite brands, or try those boots you always secretly knew you could pull off. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget at DSW stores or at DSW.com. Let us surprise you.
You can support this podcast at patreon.com/partnersincrimemedia.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie, and this is Crime Writers On. Crime Writers On is the original true crime review podcast that digs into true crime, pop culture, other podcasts. And on this episode, a millionaire couple built their own sanctuary in Costa Rica. Was their fate sealed by greed, nature, or their own inner demons? We'll review the podcast Hell and Heaven from Exactly Right and iHeartPodcasts. Joining me to get that done and more is true crime author, TV journalist, and host of These Are Their Stories podcast, my husband and love of my life, Kevin Flynn. Hi, Kevin.
Hello, Rebecca.
Kevin, you forgot Blanchard House in the credits there.
Oh, well, I have them later, but,
okay.
I'm trying to keep it nice and tight for the beginning.
I appreciate that. Also with us, private investigator, certified pet detective, resident cat lady, and author of the Piper Green series of cozy mysteries, Laura Bricker. Hi, Laura.
Hey, Rebecca.
And finally, all the way from Valencia, Spain, author of the City Trilogy, host of Rip Current, More Like Ancient Phalians, and the podcast soon to be a major motion picture, Strange Arrivals. It's Toby Ball. Que pasa, Toby?
Hey, Rebecca.
So, Kevin?
Yes.
This is Thursday's program.
More than that. This is episode 666.
This one?
This is, yes.
The Hell in Heaven episode?
The Hell in Heaven episode. Mwah, And I'm like,
So we're 2/3 of a way to 1,000 episodes.
I
Only
guess so.
5 more years, friends.
All right.
Actually, fewer than that, because when did we go to 2 a week?
Oh, yeah, we're accelerating now. We're going fast. Doing 100 a year. So.
Is it possible to AI our theme song to make it sound like Iron Maiden was playing it?
Oh, sure.
Interesting.
I bet
Sure.
Brumley could do it for us.
Have you ever listened to the musical intro to The Deep Dive?
Yes.
I did.
It's like kind of hard, heavy metal. I think I
Yeah.
picked it.
No, I'm just saying we just basically took the Crime Writers theme song and we sped it up and then put it through a guitar distortion
That's
thing.
not what we did.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did, and that's what it's been for several years now. So as far as listening back to it, fuck you,
No.
fuck you, and probably fuck you too. All right, everybody, here's what that sounds like.
Kevin, that's really impressive.
Yeah. So I know it's not Iron Maiden, but it's,
Toby doesn't even listen to the own podcast that he's in charge of making?
No, because like Toby says, I already listened to it.
I was there.
Yeah, I was there. I experienced it.
Yeah, I experienced it.
Do you also not take photos on vacation?
I do, but I don't look at them afterwards.
That's one of those.
Because I remember taking them.
I send them to people, just like this podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yes. All right. All right. So, Kevin, what is coming up on Monday's Crime Writers On?
Yeah, Monday we're going to be talking about the new series from Prime. It's called Steel, and it stars Sophie Turner.
All right, Kevin, should we talk about the thing we're supposed to be talking about on this program?
Let's do that.
All right. Leading off.
Yes, sometimes in the afternoons when I get ready to leave, they'd be sitting on the terrace of the second floor to watch the sunset. One would imagine this is a beautiful couple.
In 2001, a wealthy American couple moved to Costa Rica to build a multi-million-dollar home and wildlife sanctuary in the rainforest. In their lavish estate patrolled by armed guards, John and Ann Bender found themselves more isolated as the couple dealt with debilitating illness, bipolar disorder, and growing paranoia.
They would retreat further and further into the jungle and isolation, and they would ramp up their security. Their lavish home, high on the hill, would become a fortress.
When tragedy struck in 2010, authorities were left to wonder whether what happened was an accident, suicide, or murder. What followed was a legal saga which lasted years and grabbed the world's attention. To this day, what happened that night at the Boracayan Estate remains the subject of debate.
The gun seems to have dropped from the victim's left hand, yet the entry wound is on the right side of the head. Not only that, the bullet was fired from behind.
From Blanchard House, Exactly Right Media, and iHeartPodcasts comes Hell in Heaven, A Mysterious Death in Paradise. Host Becky Milligan traces John and Ann Bender's lives in the Costa Rican jungle and seeks the truth about what happened in the couple's opulent rainforest estate. The 8-part series explores how cultural differences, personal demons, and the estranging influence of the wild contributed to the tragedy. Spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about plot points from Hell in Heaven. So if you want to remain spoiler-free, go to the estimated time code in our show notes for our thumbs up or thumbs down reviews. I do want to tell listeners that this story features an incredible house that you can actually see online because it's been for sale on and off the market over the years. They call it the Dome House. It's a 4-story tall, open-air, round house. Mm-hmm. It's kind of incredible. The notable thing about it, as seen in the Robb Report listing and other places, is that nowhere in it does it mention anything bad happening in that house.
Oh, how interesting.
So if you're considering spending $12 million on a multi-hundred-acre Costa Rican estate with multiple pools, ponds, gates, and wildlife sanctuaries, FYI, it might be a house where a tragedy occurred.
And no walls.
Exactly.
And no walls.
Exactly.
Are there bugs?
Well, they close them at night for the bugs, but I always thought the bugs would be there all around. Maybe there were breezes. I don't know. So, Toby, what is the deal with retreating to the wilderness? Why do white people always want to do this? And why does it seem to go so wrong in these kinds of stories?
Earlier this week, Kevin mentioned watching Eden, the movie, on his flight, which was based on the book Eden Undone that we talked about on the deep dive last year.
Where you could hear that music in the opening theme. Just saying, everybody.
Yeah, that's right. So it's a very similar story, but it takes place in the Galapagos instead of Costa Rica. This is one of my frustrations with this podcast, is that they don't, like, there's these interesting things about the story that they just don't interrogate at all or look into at all. But it is, you know, in this case, a guy who is extremely rich and, as we are told, quite handsome. And his, also, we are told, very beautiful bride who both has Lyme disease and is bipolar, and they head off to the middle of the jungle in Costa Rica where they build this huge concrete monstrosity. It seems to me, although I don't know if they mentioned this in the actual podcast, this idea of retreating from society, which I think they probably felt was going to be good for Anne, the wife, because I don't know if they think like the pressures of living in America exacerbate her bipolar, or whether they think Lyme disease is some kind of environmental thing that she's suffering from that will be better off in the jungle. But this is like sort of a recurring theme. And again, in Eden Undone, it's a guy who's a philosopher who's sort of like into Nietzsche and wants to get away from society and live in this sort of primitive way. And then his wife, who's very sick, who he thinks it's going to heal her to be in this natural environment. So I think there's that. And I'll talk later about like why I think that's so kind of weird and that they don't really address that in this. But it doesn't end up turning out very well because you're kind of trading in one set of stressors for a completely different set of stressors.
It's hard being a colonist, right?
Yeah. It's very,
so many
difficult.
Staff to oversee.
And then it's like, if you've got like one of these chronic diseases or like serious mental illness, like having modern medicine around is probably helpful to you.
You think?
You mean as opposed to getting injected with water?
Yeah, well,
river water.
It depends. Depends on what kind of water.
Eating this strange fruit.
It's
river
purifying.
Water, famously good for injecting into yourself.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just kind of, I think this is kind of one of my problems with the whole show is that this whole idea and setup and what they do is super, super both interesting and problematic. And they don't really spend much time on it other than sort of the logistics and the facts about it.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny, the ignoring thing about money. I mean, it's the whole episode about money. But yes, there is a very like colonial aspect to this. And I even think about like talking to his parents, right, who were lovely people. But only people with money can say, we don't care about money. I don't know why he wanted to earn so much of it.
Right.
That's literally never something you'll hear a poor or middle-class person say ever. Like the idea that it could be like, what? We were just like, why do you want so much money? You know, that we weren't raised to care about money. I'm like, you guys are fine. Something tells me you guys are just fine. So, Kevin, we do meet some characters in the podcast, including the neighbors, one of whom forces some weird fruit into the host Pippa's mouth at one point.
You cannot stop talking about that.
You know why?
You couldn't stop talking
because
about that.
Because that guy was such a douche. The guy was like, I was the first American to move here, and I have 487 species of exotic fruits. Here, eat this one, Pippa.
When they're ready, the lid falls off. And you have these nuts inside. Paradise cream nuts. This is delicious.
Didn't he also have the wife who was the clairvoyant?
I think so. Yeah.
Who all of a sudden in the last episode got a message from Anne or something like that, right? Perfect timing. Yeah, he was interesting. I more enjoyed John's friend from the gym who was a spotter and his wingman. And so what we learned about John is that he was just dripping in poon. It's like, okay, thanks. That was good color.
Oh, the guy met him at the gym and was like, you need to do arms and chest today or whatever instead of leg day.
Yeah, he's like, leg day. I did spreading leg day last night.
And then we
go your mom.
Then we go to a bar and he would just look at a woman and then look away. And next thing you know, they'd be in bed together.
Yeah. That was his move. I'm not interested in you. Interesting guy.
Yeah.
And of course, we hear from the ambulance driver, too. So that was like fantastic. I mean, I think they had a lot of interesting voices.
Yeah.
In this, they didn't have the big one, which is Anne or John. That would have been an interesting.
The clairvoyant
that would have been an interesting voice to get.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was like thinking, did I just spoil it? It's like, yo, John. Yeah, there you go. Don't want to give it away. Could have been him.
No, we're in the spoiler section. He died.
Yeah, right. We found out that Anne is, she's alive and she just didn't want to talk.
Lots of interviews. Just not to these fine English ladies.
Just not to these fine English ladies.
Yes.
And so, I mean, I think they did a fairly good job of getting everybody else that they could. But can you tell this story really well without Anne? Well, not
Can't
here.
Be easy.
Can't be easy. Yeah.
Laura, I do want to get to some of your more serious notes, but I just want to ask, did you ever listen to any of the credits of this podcast?
No.
Everybody was named something like Pippa or Poppy or...
I did like that Poppy was involved. I liked the name Poppy.
There were so many very posh British names in the credits of this show.
And then the ladies from My Favorite Murder.
Literally every Oxford Eton sounding name you could possibly have heard, you heard in the credits of the show. Anyway, but you actually think this has a sousance of lifestyles of the rich and famous or something in it, Laura?
Yeah, so back in the late 90s, early 2000s, that was a different era of true crime books that were coming out. And one of the things was always lifestyles of the rich and famous, a love element, some mystery, some murder, no child killers. And I was so there is definitely something about this that for me is kind of a juicy story. It's just it's got all these elements. It's got the mystery. It's got the seclusion. It's got the paranoia. It's got these super wealthy people living in this foreign country on this mountain in their gigantic compound with their armed guards and bodyguards. And
Laura, they live in a silo. They live in an open-sided silo.
It's wild. And all the neighbors want to know what's happening with those rich Americans on the hill and 500 Tiffany lamps. There's just so many.
Like a parking garage.
By the way, also fucked up the crime scene photos because all these Tiffany lamps were the only way that they could light the place when they were there to take the photos. So I just think, there's obviously some themes in here of mental illness that I want to get to. But at first blush, I'm there's so many weird, interesting, unique angles to this that I was get a load of that.
I had this whole note. It said, can I beat Laura to be the first to say why now?
No, that's the answer.
I wasn't. Laura, the answer is no.
Kevin, it's like a parking garage, yes or no?
Oh my God, it does look like a parking garage. It actually looked like the house that Chewbacca lived in that whole...
Yes! Yes, it looks like the Chewbacca house.
From the Star Wars Christmas special?
It looks like a house in a Star Wars.
There's a Star Wars Christmas special?
Oh my God, Toby. Well, did you like did you even watch Star Wars? I can't tell.
I probably never saw it.
But I thought it was in a galaxy far, far away a long, long time ago. How did they even know about Christmas?
It wasn't
know
Christmas.
about the birth of Christ.
It was Life Day. Is what
Life
it was.
Day.
It was the worst thing. Okay. Quick side note. Side trip down to Star Wars lore. This was like a holiday special that CBS said they had to do, and it featured B. Arthur having a romance with Art Carney and Chewbacca's parents waiting for him to come home for Life Day.
That's right.
And then there was a Boba Fett cartoon which launched Boba Fett, but it was so bad that you can't find it. You can only find it on bootlegs. There was a really interesting documentary that I watched on a plane about this, and then I watched Eden. So it just comes back full circle. Anyway, yeah, there was Chewbacca's house. It was in the sky.
All right.
Okay, what were we talking about again?
Toby was going to talk about the house, I think.
British hosts. Posh British hosts. Toby, posh British hosts. Go.
You know, I feel like there's a subgenre of true crime podcasts that involves these posh British women, and I guess occasionally men, although those stick out to me less, telling these pretty straightforward crime stories, but giving them sort of a veneer of class.
They have virtually cut off all contact with the outside world. Anne and John have disconnected from reality. On top of this, Anne can now barely walk. John had failed to find a natural cure. They remain together, high on the hill, inside their wall-less mansion, losing their minds.
A lot of them have these like very awkward cliffhangers, including in this one where they're like, and the verdict was... I don't know if it was exactly that, but that was like actually the thing. It's like, you're going to have to wait until next week to get the verdict. So anyway, they all seem to have like kind of the same, and maybe it's not really an issue for most people, but again, it's like you kind of tell the story, but you don't think about like what it all kind of means. It's just like, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and he was this person, and she was hot, but she had Lyme disease, and he had to carry her around, and he grew this beard, and yada, yada, yada. But the idea that this sort of upper class sounding British woman is talking about this like weird, like 2-person colonialism operation. I'd be walking along on my way to paddle practice, listening to this, and and I was like, "Do you have any thoughts about this? Does this bother you at all?" Like,
it's so clinical, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure Rosie Pye, who works there, real name of a person who works there, by the way, was like, "Be more clinical. We don't want to get our hands." It all feels like we don't want to get our hands too dirty. They're in it, and even when they're in it, you hear them asking questions. It almost sounds like research for a school paper, not like story they want you to listen to. And like, I think the only podcast we've heard that I've personally connected to from one of these independent, by the way, solid documentary companies, like their journalism is obviously good. They know what they're doing, but they're so detached. I think the only ones I've listened to that I've really liked are ones where one of the hosts was in the really fucked up situation.
Oh, yeah.
Like the one with the woman and her niece, or, you know what I mean? It's like, if you weren't in it, like, you're not going to convey any kind of feeling that I'm going to be able to hang on to at all. That's how it makes me feel anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
does that like make any sense?
Yeah. It's like, I don't even know. I was going to say it's like listening to an audiobook, but it's like listening to a shitty audiobook.
Soothing. I like the soothing accents. It's like what I listen to at night to fall asleep when I listen to Louise Penny over and over with that French guy.
Yeah, I just wonder, it's like, do these people have a lot of thoughts and they're just like, fuck it, we can't put that in? Or are they just like...
We can't say what we think.
Or is it just like, well, this is all there is to the story? You know, she had this sloth that she really loved. It's weird. I don't get it.
But technical thing that happened in the podcast about the sloth. Somebody said, didn't it sleep all the time? And they were like, yes, that's why it's called a sloth. I'm like, no, I believe it's called a sloth. I don't know. That's just not my take on it.
It's because it moves slowly, right? It just fucking moves slowly. Isn't that the whole thing?
I think so, yes. Anyway.
And then they're strong as hell. Like, they apparently, like, if a sloth gets you, it's big trouble.
And they have fingernails that are this long.
And they're like muscles. They've got really strong muscles.
Like kangaroo muscles, yes.
I guess I'll stay away from sloths.
Yeah, don't. They can't catch you. If you run, they will not catch you. But if you're like sleeping or not paying attention, you got some problems.
Yeah, we will also get our long, slothy claws into you when you join us on Patreon.
That's right. We're in the business section.
You can get all sorts of exclusive content at patreon.com/partnersincrimemedia. We thank everybody who supports us on Patreon. This keeps the podcast going. Your monthly support, we like to talk about all the, the great stuff that you get. You're getting at least 20 episodes of exclusive content each month, and we always talk about the benefit to you. Let's talk about the benefit to us. Your memberships keep this podcast going. It keeps Toby in Spain, thank God. Stay away from New Hampshire, Toby. Stay in Spain.
Yep.
Laura Bricker.
It's cold here.
It's cold here. It helps us keep doing this podcast. But if you do want to know what you hear, you'll get exclusive content like the Crime Writers on After Show, Toby Ball's Deep Dive Book Club podcast, Married with Podcast, Something's Off, and Laura Bricker's Leave It to Bricker podcast.
Something's Off audio version.
The audio version. Sure, you can see the video version.
The video version's free on YouTube.
Yeah, but if you don't want to be listening with your eyeballs, you can listen with your ear holes, and it's just as good.
So sexy.
Yeah. Toby's deep divers should be boning up on the next book. It's called The Lumumba Plot, and the place that you could buy your copy, among other places, is at Amazon. So if you go to our Amazon storefront, you get a list of all of Toby's deep dive books for 2026, as well as our Amazon recommendations. So Rebecca, tell us first off, what are this week's Amazon recommendations?
Well, Kevin, I first bought it at a craft fair in Bozeman, Montana, and I liked it so much that I was like, I wonder if there's any chance I can find it online. That is this Huckleberry lip butter made in Missoula, Montana from Days Spa Body Basics. Anyway, I found it on Amazon. Yeah, you can get my Montana Huckleberry lip butter right there on Amazon. They have a little Amazon store, this little business does. So highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite lip products. And as you know, I'm a lip product addict.
And Toby, can you tell us what are your listener-inspired Toby Ball's deep cut recommendations?
I am not one to give advice to our listeners.
No?
Particularly individual listeners, but in this case, I feel as though I have to make an exception. I ran across this in our list: Good rubber earring backs replacements, back earrings for women, 100 count. So you've lost the backs to 100 earrings. I feel as though you need to get a system in place. My other thing that I think is interesting is that these backs are only for women. Men
do not lose 100 of those.
I guess so. Maybe they do it in 50 because a lot of men just have one earring. I'm not sure.
That was my thought on the math, too.
Yeah. Well, great minds and all that. The second thing we've got here, again, this is another thing that needs to be explained to me a little bit. Birdfly Smart Bird Feeder with camera for rookie. Camera bird feeder, dual night vision, AI recognition, IP66 waterproof. For bird lovers, all one word, lifetime free AI. What is a rookie camera bird feeder?
I think it probably means for people who are just starting off on the
birding.
The birding.
Yes.
We have one. I don't think it's that brand, but it has an app, and so when a bird comes, it identifies it and tells us like this was a tufted titmouse and this was
so many different kinds of doves, warblers.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. So if you don't know like what your certain bird is, you can learn them, and so it's a lot of fun.
I love the Smart Bird Feeder. I love it.
Oh, did you buy this?
No, I didn't buy that.
No, we have a completely different one.
But it's great. They're great products. They're so good.
All right. Well, thank you for explaining.
You're welcome. And it's good to hear that you can keep all your earring backs in place, Toby.
Yes, I've lost very few.
Yes. Yeah, so you get all that stuff when you check us out at our Amazon storefront. You go to amazon.com/shop/Crime Writers On. Start your shopping there. We earn commissions on qualified purchases.
Just buy all your shit that you were going to buy anyway on Amazon, but use our link. Kevin?
Yes.
Do we have any Patreon patron saints of the week this week?
Our Patreon patron saints are Jennifer Bantel and Peggy Malone. Bless you.
Bless you, Jennifer. Bless you, Peggy. Thank you so much for supporting us.
Long-time listeners.
On our Patreon. Our Patreon is the engine that keeps this podcast going. We so appreciate all of you who take the time to become a member for just a few bucks a month and get all the stuff we make for back there. Kevin?
Yeah.
Does thus end our business section?
Thus ends the business section.
Let's go ahead and fade that music out. Kevin, who's our next sponsor?
Oh, well, we are beginning the year with our friends from Quince.
Our friends indeed.
Yeah. Are you starting the year needing a wardrobe refresh? Maybe you got too many robes for Christmas and not enough
All
great
the moms
sweaters.
with their robes.
Yeah. Look, you got to be layering, you got to be mixing, you got to be building a wardrobe that lasts. And with Quince, their versatile styles make it easy to reach for them day after day.
I just bought from Quince basically my new favorite sweater.
Yeah.
It's a Mongolian cashmere kind of boxy cropped cardigan.
Mm-hmm.
It is this beautiful color, heather truffle brown. It goes with neutrals. It goes with black. It goes with jeans. It goes with skirts. I love this sweater so much. You are going to be seeing a ton of it this winter.
Yeah, that works because Quince also has these beautiful 100% silk tops and skirts. Easily, yeah, like I don't want to say mix and match.
Oh, you
but
can mix and match.
Okay.
You can say that.
Yeah.
Refresh your wardrobe with Quince. Don't wait. Go to quince.com/crime for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too.
Bonjour, hi.
That's QUINCE.com/crime to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/crime.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now, you call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
DSW, birthplace of the humble brag. Here, the shoes are so good, no one would ever know how little you paid. If you didn't go telling everyone, that is. And with never-ending options for every style, mood, and occasion, all at really great prices, we'll definitely give you something to brag about. So go ahead, stock up on fresh sneakers from your favorite brands, or try those boots you always secretly knew you could pull off. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget at DSW stores or at DSW.com. Let us surprise you.
So Kevin, speaking of Becky and Pippa.
Yes, okay.
They went to the jungle. Thoughts?
Well, I do appreciate a good on-the-ground color because I think if this brings something new to this story, because this isn't breaking news. This was, I guess, a really big story in the days before we were covering true crime. That I do appreciate someone doing the legwork as opposed to just looking stuff up, calling people on the phone. And it was worthwhile to go there. So I thought that part of the podcast was fairly interesting. And, otherwise, who's going to eat like weird fruit? It's like that's the thing.
Who's going to get the psychiatrist to talk?
They had good sound background. I thought of you when I heard
Fantastic.
sounds.
Yeah, you talk about the ending, the very, very ending, right? Ended up after the credits, there was an extended piece which was just like the sounds of the jungle, which could be like you could loop that, and that could be the thing, people go to sleep to.
No, it couldn't.
It could be their white noise.
Nope.
Rebecca, by the way, she has a playlist of rain for like that white noise, but you had to get a special one. Rain, no birds. Because if you hear a bird in the middle,
if I hear a bird, because the birds here cheap at like 3:30 in the morning and wake me the hell up. If I hear a single bird, I am canceling your playlist.
Yeah, like a Carolina wren, eastern phobie, the house sparrow, the American goldfinch.
All right, I know we've been on many tangents in this podcast.
The white-breasted nuthatch.
Okay, I know we've been on many
chickadee.
tangents in this podcast, but my new favorite brown noise playlist to go to sleep to is the airline cabin noise playlist.
Oh my God.
So good. But I listened to one of those once. It's just this rumble of an airline cabin and engine, and there was a fucking bird in that. And I was like, why is that bird on a plane? Why?
It wasn't. It was a bird outside the window. Go back to sleep.
All right.
The downy woodpecker.
Okay, stop it.
The red.
You can tell us a lot to talk about this podcast. Here,
Northern
Kevin,
raven.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
But anyway, yeah, I like that, and I think that the problem, or one of the things I think would have made it better is right, guys, that we did have that first person reporting that we're on the scene, but we didn't get the other part, which was more of like the here are my opinions, here are our thoughts, let's talk together.
Here are observations.
Our observations, because if you're going to be there sort of in first person, the advantage of podcasting is that you often are given that space to sort of opine a little bit, or at least talk about your feelings. And again, little bits here and there of that, but not enough to tell you that this was the kind of podcast, because you're either going to solve the crime, which you can't really do, or you're going to give us something else interesting, something new. And there were opportunities there that they didn't really take.
Well, I was going to say, who did give their feelings was that American journalist.
The writer?
Yes. Carol Carol,
Yes.
who wrote the book, who was like obsessed, and it was like her daily soap opera, and she couldn't get enough. And she was like it was 24 hours a day, didn't comb her hair, didn't brush her teeth, didn't
This was
walk
her Karen Reed, is what
dog.
it was.
Yeah. She thought she was writing a love story, that it was like Shakespeare. I mean, she was interesting, but she was on the other side where I was like, okay, like it was unhealthy for these people to be in the jungle alone together. It might be unhealthy for this journalist to be covering this trial in the same way.
Before we can sit down to chat, we're off for a walk with her dog, Garbo. And she starts to tell me how one story took over her entire life and still dominates it.
It's so embarrassing. I became possessed and obsessed with the story of the Benders.
Toby, did you get the sense that Carol might have lost her objectivity?
Just another victim of jungle craziness, I guess.
Jungle madness.
Yeah.
Jungle madness.
Laura, I have added Costa Rica to my list of countries to not get arrested in. Thoughts?
Yeah. So that part to me was kind of terrifying. 3 trials. You're acquitted twice, only convicted once. Like, what would have happened if she hadn't gotten the hell out of Dodge? Would she have had a 4th trial?
She would have been Amanda Knoxed.
Yeah. The Costa Rican justice system was crazy. And I understand it. People are really hung up on, like, how could he have been shot in the back of the head? He had these earbuds in. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Both of these people are not stable. They're not well mentally. There's a lot happening. There's a lot of mental illness. But it's like, at some point, you got to move on. What is the benefit of having somebody like that incarcerated with the level of medical conditions and care that she's going to require? Like, no. Even though I do know, because of Toby Ball's move to Spain, that Costa Rica is another country where you can get the digital nomad visa.
It is.
I'm like, no. And I have some friends that are actually going there in February, so I'm going to give them some words of caution before they go.
Don't get arrested.
Yeah.
Don't get arrested there. Don't get arrested in Italy.
Unless you want me to come make a podcast.
Costa Rica is so great.
Costa Rica is awesome, but not if you're accused of a crime, apparently.
Yeah, don't murder anybody. I just thought there was like a lot of like weird little details that they don't. I mean, maybe it's to their credit they don't dwell on, but when Anne ends up
like
in
the
that
earplugs.
Yeah, well, the earplugs are one. It's like, well, it's kind of weird. I'm like, well, it doesn't seem like it's weird at all. Like, they're in the jungle losing their minds. I'm sure he wanted to shut out the noise so he could sleep. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's that weird.
Why wouldn't he take out his earplugs first before he shot himself? I don't know. Maybe because he had them in.
Yeah, exactly. Anne talks about how she actually liked being in prison because, like, all these people took care of her.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like...
It was like Orange is the New Black for Anne.
Mm-hmm.
They brought her nice food because, otherwise it was rice and maggots, the boyfriend.
I feel like this is just completely devolving, and I'm the one it's like 11 o'clock at night.
Well, what did you think about the psychiatrist? I thought that was an interesting angle.
Psychiatrist was fine. Like, he had some compassion. He seemed to have some insight.
He felt stood up.
I felt like the thing...
when she left the country.
Again, another thing that they didn't really comment on was like the fact that at the end, like, he was injecting her with stream water.
I know.
Which again seemed like it's almost like too on the money thematically for the thing. But if it's real, like,
famously clean jungle stream water,
you should talk about it. But they don't. They don't. It's just like, oh, that's a fucked up thing to do. That's not going to cure your Lyme disease or your bipolar. It's just going to give you boils and wounds.
That's right.
Let's put some bacteria under your skin. Kevin, we were talking about Carol, the writer, before.
Mm-hmm.
Carol literally said in this podcast, I think she was trying to save her own life. I would have killed him too. So isn't the point here just to sort of figure out, because we know no one else is in the room. There's no question that no one else is in the room.
Right.
And
no one's saying that,
said,
like, one of these creepy outsiders
even
broke
Anne
it. Right.
says that nobody else was in the room, right?
Right.
She'd be the first person to be like, no, it was a jungle guy who climbed up on the side and came in or whatever. She doesn't say that. It was him and her. The physical evidence shows that he was shot in the back of his head on the right side and he was left-handed or the opposite or whatever. So the whole point here is we take a position on whether or not she shot him or he shot himself or there was a struggle for the gun or whatever. But we know they're both very ill.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think you would think if you were hearing all these details of this case?
Yeah, I mean, I think the podcast sort of invites us to pick a side on this. It is kind of like a closed door mystery, and we're like, okay, well, how did this happen? I because you really
closed
can't call
door mystery. There were no
doors.
windows.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
There weren't even walls on the elevator, for God's sakes.
Yeah, but I mean, the theory here is, okay, well, it's, how did this happen? It's either this way or that way. Well, it could be, yeah, like I said, is it an accident? Is it suicide? Is it homicide? I don't know. I don't like her story, the way it fits sort of the physical evidence. I'm not crazy about the idea of it, the wrong side of the head and then the back of the head and the ear plate. Like, if that physical evidence is accurate, then I'm like, that's not great. We also have two people that, like we've pointed out, are suffering from either bipolar or some kind of mental illness and paranoia. So as far as like being reliable narrators, they aren't. But I'll just say, like, if this were in America and you had an American jury instead of a tribunal of judges, I don't know if I could convict. But, I'm not saying she's a killer, but I'm saying I just feel like those are a lot of bad facts against her.
DSW, birthplace of the humble brag. Here, the shoes are so good, no one would ever know how little you paid. If you didn't go telling everyone, that is. And with never-ending options for every style, mood, and occasion, all at really great prices, we'll definitely give you something to brag about. So go ahead, stock up on fresh sneakers from your favorite brands, or try those boots you always secretly knew you could pull off. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget at DSW stores or at DSW.com. Let us surprise you.
A BetterHelp ad. The new year doesn't need a new you, just some space to let your mind feel lighter. Therapy can help you unpack what's been heavy and bring more clarity, calm, and perspective into 2026. BetterHelp makes it easy to match online with a qualified therapist who can help you see things more clearly and move forward with confidence. See for yourself. Visit BetterHelp.com for 10% off your first month.
All right, let's do what we do. Let's let our listeners know. Should they check out the podcast, Hell in Heaven, A Mysterious Death in Paradise? Laura Bricker, thumbs up or thumbs down for this podcast?
I'm probably going to be in the minority here just because I had not heard of this case. So I'm going to go mild thumbs up on this because I think the case in itself was fascinating enough to keep me listening, even if the execution and the way that the whole story played out in the end maybe wasn't anything like out of the ordinary in terms of the storytelling. I was there for the details of this story, which was like lifestyles of the rich and famous, exotic destination, mysterious, paranoid central characters, a justice system in another country, some ambient jungle noise. I went and looked up this house online, as Rebecca did, and I was like, this is just, I'm fascinated by the people that were involved in this case. So I think if I had already heard this story, I'd be like, why am I hearing this now? I had not heard this story, and we hear so many true crime stories that start to sound so similar. This is one I was just like, get a load of this. It just gets more and more bizarre. There was also a really interesting mental health angle to this that we didn't talk about super in depth in our review, but that I thought was a really interesting component in terms of what happens to, two people that might have both mental health issues when they are isolated as they were with this wealth in the middle of nowhere in Costa Rica. So I'm going mild thumbs up with this just because the story of the case was interesting enough for me to keep listening.
Toby Ball, thumbs up or thumbs down for Hell in Heaven?
I get some of the thumbs sideways. The case is interesting. It's competently told. There's so much that could have been done with this. It was just crying out for like a little bit of analysis or thought or just something into it instead of sort of a recounting of this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened. And oh, check out this weird dude who lives in Costa Rica too. To me, I just kept thinking of all these things. I was like, why aren't they talking about this at all? They're just letting all this stuff go. And so, in the end, it feels like a little bit of a waste. If you've got this kind of story to just kind of doing the Wikipedia thing, it's a little bit harsh to this, but it's really just kind of the facts kind of thing with a little bit of on-site reporting. But did they really need to be on site for it? I don't know. So anyway, I'm a thumb sideways. It felt like it left a lot of things on the table that would have made it a much better podcast.
Kevin Flynn.
I'm also going thumb sideways on this. It's got some really good production elements. I think it sounds really great. I appreciate that Becky and Pippa went to Costa Rica and really dug around and tried to find something. I think for somebody who's familiar with this case, they're not going to learn anything new and will probably be disappointed. by this, despite the passage of time, doesn't seem to have helped the ability to bring in new information, provide new insight, or at least get access to one of the major voices that you would need to really tell this story in a new way, in a compelling way. So it does some things well. Like the rest of you said, it like left a few things on the table here, some avenues that they could have gone down, but I can't really give it a thumbs down. Can't really recommend it either. So that's why I'm at a thumb sideways.
I'm a thumb sideways too. First of all, Laura, I want to commend you for the very smooth job you're trying to get your cat to not interfere with this podcast. We just saw his little head appear, and then Laura slowly moved her camera to the right so we wouldn't have a whole full cat shot. Anyway, that's how I feel about this podcast. Like, I care more about Laura's cat's head coming in because I just don't have a lot to say about it. Like, this podcast left me feeling cold. It left me feeling clinical. It left me feeling like I went to a fiery presentation and just ended up getting a really clean lecture. Like, there's very little like writing for audio in it. There's very little interaction between hosts and people that doesn't just sound like straight question, straight answer. I'm not saying that something needs to be over the top. I think of like Josh Baker, for instance, who does these really good jobs telling these like international stories, right? And you hear him crafting the story while you're also hearing the story in a way that really pulls you in. And he's kind of willing to tell you, not tell you what to think, not tell you what the facts should be, but just tell you what he's observing along the way. We just don't get any of that here. And I know this is like a bunch of really talented people at the Blanchard House making this podcast, but I would just suggest listening to fewer. I mean, it sounds very much in the style of like a 2-minute BBC feature, but it's 8 episodes of that. So maybe just think a little bit more about this part of the medium, this part of the audio medium in which you're asking someone to have headphones in their ears, spending time with you. Yes, you, Becky, for 8 episodes. Like, give us a little Becky. Like, you know, you don't have to like bring us into your house, but like make me feel a little something about the story you're trying to tell us. And I just didn't get that with this. That being said, it's competently reported. It sounds good. It's well produced. So I can't give it a thumbs down. So, and it is an interesting story, as Laura said. You're right, Laura. It really is quite an interesting story for a historic crime from 15 years ago. Yeah. So thumbs sideways for me for Hell and Heaven. That's going to do it for us. But before we go, Laura Bricker, do we have a cat of the week this week?
We have a true crime cat of the week crossover.
What?
Yes.
Did a cat murder somebody?
No. This is coming to us. Amber Hunt, our friend Amber Hunt, and her partner are sort of like rehabilitating some birds. They become bird people.
Yeah.
They had a bird get lost, and then there was a whole thing.
Right now, Amber has a bird named Ash that basically flew into their lives when he was discovered on somebody's porch in 5-degree weather. He was full of bacteria, needed antibiotics, had swollen feet and legs. This bird has now had its like feet essentially amputated because of this.
Most of its toes, yeah.
Yep. So now he has like these little like footy pads on. He's like walking around. When those come off, this bird is going to basically learn how to walk on one toe on one foot and 2 on the other. The vet's like, hey, he's going to be happy. But I kind of love this little de facto bird sanctuary that has happened in the world of Amber Hunt. And I love the picture of this bird with Amber with his little footy paws on. So that is my cat of the week this week.
Was that bird the violet green swallow or the rose-breasted grosbeak?
No,
or the
it was
rose-winged
not.
blackbird or the common grackle or the song sparrow, the American bush tit,
It's a cockatoo.
the California towhee?
I'm sorry, it's a cockatiel. It's a cockatiel.
That's not a California scrub jay, is it?
It's a scrub jay.
A scrub jay,
No,
a Carolina chickadee?
It's a cockatiel. Amber lost her beloved cockatiel. It never came back. But somebody called and said, we think we have your bird. And it wasn't her bird. It was a different cockatiel that had flown in. And then they ended up getting a whole other one that somebody also like. So they went from having like no bird to now having 2. It's a very good story.
I like a downy woodpecker or a morning time.
All right, Laura Bricker, if folks want to send images, if they want to send video, or if they want to point you to stories about any kind of animal that can be cat of the week, how can they find you online?
You can find me at Laura Bricker on Blue Sky and Instagram and see about my needy cat, Rocky, who keeps Rocky Flintstone hopping in here because I'm talking about birds. I don't know.
He's so cute. What about you, Toby? How can you be found online?
At TobyBall NH on Blue Sky and at TobyBall603 on Instagram. And tomorrow, the second part of the John Hodgman Chariots of the Gods episode of More Like Ancient Aliens drops. If you're interested.
Kevin Flynn, how can you be found?
I'm at Kevin P. Flynn.
You can follow me everywhere at Reb Lavoie and follow the show everywhere at Crime Writers On. That includes YouTube, that includes TikTok, that includes X, that includes Facebook, Instagram. Mostly, though, you should join our incredible community in our official Crime Writers On Facebook discussion group. Just find us on Facebook. There's a link there to join the group. Get everything we make on Patreon at patreon.com/Partners in Crime Media. Our theme song was composed and performed by Tyler Gibbons, and our editor is the wonderful Livy Burdett. The EP of this show is Kevin, and he's sitting with me in the Caitlin Rogers Project studio, also known as Studio C, the closet in our New Hampshire basement, where we also live in a house with no windows, which is terribly unpleasant this time of year in New Hampshire. On behalf of all the crime writers, thanks so much for listening. We will catch you later.
Maybe he was listening to his theme song. Who knows?
They weren't earbuds. They were AirPods.
No, they were just earplugs.
They're just earplugs. They were just keeping out the noise. It's not jamming to tunes.
I thought he was listening to music. I thought he was like...
He was trying to keep out the bird sounds.
Yeah, he wanted to sleep without the incessant birds and
the
racket of the
monkeys.
Insects and the birds and the monkeys.
Howler monkeys. The howler monkeys.
And then there's
Laura thinks his hype song was... Sing it.
This is my
oh, God.
That's so bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Jesus.
There's a...
Partners in Crime Media.